What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mago Cuts, and for today's haircut I will be going over a low blowout. That's my first ever haircut tutorial. So to start with this haircut, guys, I'm setting in my first guideline, kind of making like a straight line, at an angle coming down. Any blowout has no C cup or no edges, as some of you may say, but yeah, basically now I'm just gonna bald it out here and give it that fresh baldness look. Now as I'm balding it out, I'm keeping in mind that I want to leave a little bit open. I want to leave some hair in there, that way I can come back with my trimmers as you see here, and I'm gonna just kind of get rid of that bottom line. You can't really see it, but I leave some space there, and I'm just hitting the bottom line and just kind of getting that bald line out. That bald line is going to be the hardest line to fade, so make sure you leave a little bit of space for that. Next up, I'm coming in with no guard, and I'm just going up with my lever open about 1 centimeter up, and I'm going to hit the bottom line with my previous clipper, which were my trimmers, followed by no guard closed. Now all this may sound confusing for you upcoming barbers, but I promise I'll make a video near on the future explaining lever close, lever open, and all that. But you'll kind of just pay attention to my video here, and you're gonna see it's almost from memory. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm going up with the highest guard that I'm going to use in this video, which is the number 4. It's always good to set the highest guard, that way you know not to pass that guard. Next up, I'm fading in my number 1 that I used previously, and I'm just kind of going back to the half and to the no guard. And yeah, but I forgot to mention, guys, whenever I do a haircut, you're supposed to basically go from no guard to a half, but I like to go from a no guard to a 1 just to kind of play it safe and not go too high with my guidelines. The last thing you want is to go too high with any haircut. You end up going from a low fade to a mid or high fade if you don't follow these rules. But anyways, as you guys saw, I just went up about 1 inch with my 1.5, and now what I'm doing here is I'm going back to the bottom line that I created with my 1.5, and I'm cleaning it up using my previous guard, which was the number 1. As I'm doing that, I'm just kind of like looking around, trying to find any dark spots, and I'm just detailing. But yeah, guys, now I'm going back with my number 2, and I'm just setting the next guideline and just kind of cleaning the edges up and everything. And yeah, I'm going up about 1 inch now with the number 2, and next I'm gonna go with the 1.5 and clean that up. As you can see here, I'm going with the 1.5 now, and I'm just cleaning that bottom line. The bottom line, you're always gonna hit it with the previous guard. So I'm gonna leave a guard chart up here so you can kind of see what it is. But yeah, I hit it with the 2, 1.5. Now I'm at it with the 1 again. Next up, I'm just going back, just kind of detailing. I see some dark spots here that I don't like, so I'm just kind of playing with the haircut, and yeah, it's basically that barber vision. Now I'm attacking the highest part of the haircut, which I mentioned was the number 4, which is going to be the highest number I will use in this haircut, and I'm attacking that with the number 3. And as you notice, I'm going in with the number 3, and then I'm going back down to the 2, and now the 1, and now the 1.5 again. So basically, like I said, every time you use a guard, it's just going to be muscle memory. You use a 4, you're going to hit the bottom with the 3. Use a 3, hit the bottom with the 2. Use a 2, hit the bottom with the 1.5, etc. But I'm just going in, cleaning in around the ears, kind of just fading it down from a 4 to a 3 to a 2. And yeah, back to detail work, Right here, I'm just gonna edge them up, You need a clean edge up in every haircut. That's like key to a haircut, to be honest. The edging, man. But right here, I'm just trying to make that edge up nice and sharp, You don't want to push them back either, so make sure you pay attention when you're giving somebody any type of lining. Now I'm putting my client's hair up with a clip, because I'm about to line him up. And yeah, basically same thing. When you're lining somebody up, just try to keep it as natural as possible. You don't want to push somebody back, because then you can just tell, it's not a good look. But yeah, right here I'm just lining him up, making the edges sharp. Like I said, lining is key. Next up, I'm using that blade. You want to make the lining as sharp as possible, and the blade is gonna give you that resolution, you know. And as I'm lining him up, I'm pulling the skin, because the skin's gonna give you like a sharper cut, you know, and just make it easier for you and your client. You know, you don't want to cut him, you know, that's just to avoid it, you know, all that cutting and stuff. So yeah. We back at it with the detail work. No haircut could ever be perfect, so just keep, you know, keep hitting spots that you see are too dark. You know, try to make the haircut as clean as possible. Alright, so for this part of the haircut, it's really important, and it's not something that I always do, but I use my scissors here to just basically cut the sides, you know, and make it as sharp as possible. I don't know if you can see that resolution right there, but just kind of like brush your client's hair to the side and just try to cut that, you know, excessive hair, and try to make it just like as sharp as possible. You know, every detail counts, honestly. As you can see here, I'm setting in my guideline for the back, and it's just the same steps all over again. You know, you're gonna ball them out, no guard, half, 1.5, you know, you already know. So right here, I'm just gonna ball them out, you know, with my liners, getting all that hair out before I hit it with the shaver. Now before I start the fading process, I'm just gonna use my number 4 and debulk this time. You know, it doesn't matter when you do it. You can do it mid haircut, beginning, even end, but I'm just gonna go back, you know, to the side and just detail the 4 all the way to the back. As you see, I'm doing that right here. Alright, so we back at it with the same steps. This time I'm going in with no guard, about an inch, only because the back's longer, obviously. So you don't want to make the blowout look too dark and too low, you know. So always try to go a little bit higher in the back, but not too high, obviously. And yeah, you know, no guard, lever open. Now I close it and I'm hitting that bottom line out. Next up, I'm going up with the 1, about an inch again. And yeah, and I forgot to mention, when I do the back, I usually skip the shaving process because that's usually like the hardest line to erase. So I'll leave that for the end. But anyways, yeah, I went up with the number 1, about an inch, and I'm coming back with the half guard to clean it up. And like I said, I only go up with the 1 to make it a safe process, if you know what I mean. You know, you don't want to bother your clients and, you know, worst case, go too high. But yeah, I'm going back with the half, and now I'm cleaning it up with no guard again. And yeah. As you can see here, you kind of create lines as you go with your haircut, but just play with your clipper and just try your best to, you know, erase those lines and just try to make their haircut look as clean as possible. Now I'm setting up my next guideline, and I'm going up about an inch with my 1.5. And same thing, you know, you're going up with your 1.5. You're gonna hit it with the previous guard, which is a 1. As you can see here, I got my other clipper, which has the 1 guard, and I'm just hitting the bottom line with it and just trying to erase it as much as you can. I couldn't really get this angle right here, but basically what I did was I went back with my half guard and just kind of, you know, just try to clean as much as you can. You know, you're gonna see details in your haircut that you don't like, but the goal is to erase them. There's not gonna be a perfect haircut. You can't really follow the chart like that, but it's called detailing at the end of the day, and it's just a barber's eye that you'll see spots that you don't like, darker spots, and like I said, it's all about making their haircut as clean as possible at the end of the day. From here on forth, I'm just attacking the top of their haircut. Same thing, I'm going in with my highest guard, which is a 4, coming down to a 3, to a 2, and back to a 1.5. You know, so it's just the same steps over and over again. You use your previous guard and just try to detail and hit the darker spots. You know, try to make their haircut as clean as possible. Now I'm giving my client that lining on the side. And like I said, when you do a lining, just try to keep it as natural as possible. Sometimes you might make it seem, or you might think that you're pushing the client back, but in reality you're not. They just might grow a lot of hair on their neck, so just kind of follow from the top and try and make a straight line down to his neck. As you can see here, I usually try to use a blade on the side, but sometimes I had to hit it with the shavers, because some clients have rougher skin than others, so the last thing you want is to cut them. So just try to play it safe. If you can use your blade, then do it, but if not, the shaver works just fine. Same steps for the other side. Your first guideline, most important. Now, there's one thing I do recommend if you're a beginning barber, is to just set your guidelines, together when you start. Because the last thing you want is to have one side higher than the other. As you go on, you'll kind of just remember it. Kind of wing it out in a way. But yeah, if you're a beginner barber, that's what I did. Just try to play it safe. At the end of the day, you're trying to play it safe and just give the best haircut possible. From here on, it's just the same steps all over again, so I'm gonna just let the video roll. But I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who stopped by and clicked on this video. Hopefully you guys subscribe, and yeah, man, shout out to Chicago's Finest. Hit me up for a haircut, stop by, and yeah, also sorry if I sound repetitive. It's just a work in progress, I guess. You can't really see this part, but basically my client just wanted it a little bit cut from the tips, as he was going for like a natural lining, messy type of look. So yeah, I just cut like about a little bit from the tips. Next up, I'm gonna use my shears to just kind of like blend in the top to the sides, you know, that puffiness, kind of make it look natural and stuff. And for the cherry on the top, I'm gonna just add a little bit of enhancements to my haircut, just kind of make the edges look darker, you know. I do recommend enhancements just as long as you don't use them to cover up your mistakes, you know. If you're a beginning barber, I do recommend you wait a bit, only because you want to lock in that fade first before you add anything extra. Enhancements shouldn't be your first option to make your haircut look good, it should just be a little extra. Once again, a big shout out to everybody who stopped by to check out this video. Hit me up for haircuts, guy, or stop by Chicago's Finest Barbershop, one of the best barbershops in Cicero. But yeah, guys, here's the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. And yeah, man,